everybody, Palumbo here with an RX Muscle news update. For those of you who might not have heard, although it seems like it's all over the place now, WWE wrestling superstar and top executive over there at the WWE, Paul Levesque, aka Triple H, has declared that he will no longer wrestle in the ring. Now, while not exactly bodybuilding news, Triple H has a very close relationship with the bodybuilding industry. He's actually emceed the Olympia a few years. He always used to go to all the shows before he became an executive. When he was still wrestling, he was always at the Arnold Classic and the Olympia. He probably can break down the Olympia better than anyone out there. He really has a lot of good insights into bodybuilding. He was a bodybuilder when he first started working in a gym before he became a wrestler. He's also happens to be a client of mine and a good friend. And I think it's quite a while ago now, maybe like about a year ago or a little less than a year ago, Paul had an incident they're calling a heart incident. And what he described on his interview show where this latest breaking news was released was that he had a viral infection of his heart or some kind of a pneumonia that was putting pressure on his heart. It was reducing his cardiac output, the ability of his heart to pump blood to his body. He was admitted into the hospital. I think his cardiac output was like around 12%, which is really low. You can see Paul was visibly choked up when he said, when they have to put you out to go into surgery, and you don't know you're going to wake up and you have a family and kids and a wife that you love. I mean, it's tough. And, I really felt for him because I could completely relate to what he was going through, having a wife and 3 kids myself. And, that's got to be a really tough thing, especially when you're in distress.
There's moments in there where when they're putting you out for stuff and you think, is this it? Do you wake up for this? That's tough to swallow.
And here's a guy who takes great care of himself. He eats right. He trains all the time on a regular basis. He never misses a workout, even if he's got to bring the weights with him. He takes all the right nutritional supplements. He's a healthy guy by all means, but what happens? Stuff happens, and people get sick. Luckily, it seems like he's made a pretty good recovery, but he has decided not to go into the ring and wrestle, which I think at the point in his life he's at there's no reason for him. He has nothing left to prove. He did it all in the ring, and now he's behind the scenes and on the microphone. He's kind of doing what Vince does, and so is Stephanie, and they're running the organization and they're nurturing new talent and bringing new excitement into the WWE, and that's what it's all about. If you can, I always say, I have the greatest job in the world because I was able to compete and then still make a living from the bodybuilding industry after that. After I got done with competing, without being on stage anymore, I can be an information provider. I could be an analyst. I could be a behind the scenes guy. I could be a mentor to people. I could be a teacher by teaching my training courses and doing educational videos. And really, in a sense, Paul's doing that as well. So, I want to wish him obviously the best of luck in his next stage of his life as more of an administrator and a person who's nurturing talent now rather than going in the ring and screaming and jumping off the top rope. Because let's face it, after a while, our bodies just can't take that anymore. He's torn both quads, he's torn in both biceps. He's had a lot of injuries, torn a pec. It's brutal in there, and you want to hopefully escape, without having any long-term debilitating injuries. So I think it was a good move on his part to do that. Hopefully his heart will continue to improve and he'll get better. He really hasn't said to anyone, myself included, what exactly, was the I guess main issue with his heart. I have to believe it was something that, it was personal and didn't want to talk about. He did say and mention that he had a defibrillator put in, so it probably has something to do with an arrhythmia of some sort. Maybe they're afraid he's going to throw an arrhythmia, and obviously it's always good to have backup. I have one. I have a weird arrhythmia when I exercise at a high level. So safety first. Hey, you got a family. You want to be around for a long time, and so I love his family. I love Stephanie. I love Paul and the 3 daughters. And I only wish them the best of luck. And I'm happy to see Paul has moved on to the next stage of his life. And look, sometimes when you stop doing the thing you're doing, you have more energy and time to devote to something else, and his something else is obviously making the WWE bigger and greater than it already is. And I think that he can put 100% attention into that. Anything's possible. I'm Dave Palumbo with an RX Muscle News Update.